Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Man's Final Steps. Man's Final Steps. A continuing series to those who would be of the 144,000 and multitude mentioned in Revelations chapter 7 and 14. My name is Symmanayah and today is December 11th, 2013. If you're tuning in for the first time, you will know that my brothers, my sisters, my family are all those who seek to worship and obey the Almighty Creator of all, Almighty Yahuwah, and who has come to accept Yahusha as our Mashiach, as our Messiah. For it is in Yahusha that we are made one, both Hebrew and Goyim, Arbor or Aubrey, and Gentiles, which means other nations. We are made one, those who seek to worship and obey the Almighty Father. With that said, let me move into this segment of Man's Final Steps. It is entitled A to Z. A to Z. Water, bread, meat. Let me begin with reading some scriptures. Genesis 2:10. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided and became 4 riverheads. So from the beginning we see water was important, my brothers and sisters. Exodus 17:6 reads, See, I am standing before you there on the rock in Horeb, and you shall smite the rock, and water shall come out of it, and the people shall drink. And Moshe did so before the eyes of the elders of Yasharal. Here was a time when the people were grumbling for water, and they received it by the word of the Almighty Father. Psalms 1:3 reads, For he shall be as a tree planted by the rivers of water, that yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither, and whatever he does prospers. That was Psalms 1:3. Proverbs 25 reads, Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding draws it up. Proverbs 25. Ephesians 20 verse 5. Ephesians 5 verse 26. Ephesians 5 verse 26. In order to set it apart and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. 1 John 5:5-8 reads as follows. Who is the one who overcomes the world but he who believes that Yahusha is the Son of Elohim? This is the one that came by water and blood, Yahusha Messiah, not only by water, but by water and blood. And it is the Spirit who bears witness, because the Spirit is the truth. Because there are 3 who bear witness, the Spirit, the water, and the blood, and the 3 are in agreement. Many people fail to realize when they say Spirit, it mentions Yahuwah, Spirit, Almighty Father, everywhere at all times. When it mentions water, it mentions His Word. Yes, His Word, my brothers and sisters, as it goes forth and make things alive. And blood. It is by the blood that we receive the atonement and restoration, and by the resurrection of our Mashiach. Pray on these matters, my brothers and sisters. Physically, we see the Mashiach coming, sacrifice, resurrected. John 6:35 reads, And Yahusha said to them, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me shall not get hungry at all, and he who believes in me shall not get thirsty at all. That was John 6:35. John 12:24 reads, Truly, truly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone, but if it dies, it bears much fruit. Who has given thought to the seeds that were planted, to the seeds that died and opened up and bared the fruit, the vegetables, the food in which we eat? Who has given thought to A to Z, the process in which water reach our doorsteps, reach our face, reach our stomachs? Who has given thought to how bread, the wheat, the process in which things occur to bring food to our tables? Pray on these matters, my brothers and sisters. 1 Corinthians 3:2 read, I fed you with milk and not with solid food, for until now you were not able to receive it, and even now you are still not able. 1 Corinthians 10:3 and 4 reads, and all ate the same spiritual food, and all drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed, and the rock was Messiah. Deuteronomy 8:3 reads as follows, and he humbled you, and let you suffer hunger, and fed you with manna which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, to make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of Yahuwah. Matthew 4:4 reads similar, but he answered and said, it has been written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of Yahuwah. My brothers and sisters, pray and ponder on these scriptures, for many of us desire to drink and eat both physical water, meat, and food, as well as spiritual water, meat, and food. We eagerly reach for the end results to fill our bellies. We're quick to grab what we perceive will be enough, only to continue on and discover we are not filled. We have not become satisfied. A to Z, as it relates to water, bread, meat, and other foods. It is time, my brothers and sisters, for us to consider that there are important steps, there are important factors and processes and details in order for things to reach our stomach, our minds, our hearts, our bodies. Everything has a beginning and an end. There is purpose, processes, and details in every step of the way. Our failure to consider A to Z with regards to water, bread, meat, and other food has resulted in much wickedness. We have drunk and eaten food without any regards to their origins and or the process in which they reached our stomach. We have taken for granted much, and as a result, it has caused us to not fully understand when a day begins or ends. Therefore, the Shabbat and other appointed times are not guarded properly because we are oblivious to the mechanism that we were given when created. We were agricultural people, and we have come away from understanding the importance of water, bread, meat, and other foods. We have taken so much for granted, my brothers and sisters. As a result of that, we struggle trying to discern when a day begins and when it ends, or when the appointed times begin and when they end. We have neglected our planet, and pollution have grown like a ravenous virus across the globe. We fail to realize the work involved to produce or bring water, bread, and meat and or any other resources to our face. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, this is the result of disorder, rebellion, and wickedness caused by blatant and reckless communications and teachings and misinterpretations of scriptures, and void of hearing the words from the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua. We have begun refinement for man's final step on this planet. As we have grown to know it, our Mashiach, our Messiah, draws near. The 144,000 and multitude that will come out of the Great Tribulation is alive and being perfected until such time as appointed to fulfill scriptures. I strongly encourage each of us to begin considering the basic processes from A to Z for getting water, bread, and meat to our tables. Begin discussing the realities of the process and accept there will be many details that came to be before things reached our face, our stomachs, and satisfied our thirst and hunger. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, once we begin to identify the details of such processes for obtaining water, bread, and meat, and other foods, we may come to realize these same processes and details will apply to things that are spiritual. Take a moment and reflect and pray on these words, for in our refining process, we will come to embrace and accept the intricacies and details that will occur regarding the structuring of the 144,000 multitude. There will be tasks for each participant to perform as a body of one, yet with many members. We will receive commands, yes, commands that must be followed. Pray and watch. Yes, my brothers and sisters, it is important and the time has come. Be encouraged, for the assignments are there. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, remember, there are details that will be followed. Until next time, continue to be encouraged. Stay tuned as the series continues. Shalom Shalom. Shalom.